Like normal, we fall to a depth of 8,192 meters. Only when you reach the limit, instead of being teleported back to the surface like normal, you hit an invisible floor. However, for some reason the player continues to fall by a fraction of a meter per second, and over time you can fall way past the limit. You may be wondering how we got here. How is it possible for the player to be 10,000 meters deep in the void? Well, I'm so glad you asked, but in order to answer that, we first have to explain how to delete the water in Subnautica. The first way to do this involves a moon pool. If done correctly, it can allow you to remove all water and walk around everywhere like you're on land. First off, let's do it the wrong way. If you deconstruct a moon pool, swim inside of it without another base attached to it, and then finish its construction, you can swim around the moon pool as if you were in water. While that's pretty cool, if there is another base attached to the moon pool and you swim inside of the moon pool while it's partially constructed, the game will actually allow you to walk around inside of it, even though it's not finished. If you then deconstruct the moon pool, you will fall right down to the seafloor and be able to walk around like you're on land. Pretty cool, right? But as it turns out, this is not the only way to pull off this glitch. If you bring Riley to a very particular spot just outside the quarantine enforcement platform, by traveling through this spot, you can actually delete all the water here as well and walk around the mountains biome as if you were on land. Who knows how somebody actually discovered this, but it's super interesting nonetheless. While both of these glitches are super cool, what's even more interesting is what happens when we delete the water while we're over the void. Like normal, we fall to a depth of 8,192 meters. Only when you reach the limit, instead of being teleported back to the surface like normal, you hit an invisible floor. However, for some reason the player continues to fall by a fraction of a meter per second, and over time you can fall way past the limit. I tried the moon pool glitch out in Subnautica Below Zero, and it turns out that they've patched it. As you can see, it blocks you from going inside of the moon pool before it's finished. This is bad news because when they fix all the bugs in Subnautica and make Subnautica more like Below Zero, like they're hopefully planning to do, they will likely patch this glitch as well. So do this while you still can. Speaking of Subnautica Below Zero, did you know that there are actually multiple super easy ways to get out of bounds in Subnautica Below Zero? When coming out of the game's starting area, if you turn right, you'll encounter a certain area where it's super easy to do so. Simply hop onto this iceberg and then use the prawn suit to jump out of bounds like so. Once you're out of bounds, there's this whole area that you can explore. There's nothing out here, of course, since the developers wouldn't take the time to put anything here, but it's still really interesting to explore all these places you're normally not supposed to get to. Along with fixing the moon pool glitch, Subnautica Below Zero fixed many other common Subnautica glitches, including the Super Sea Glide glitch, which allowed players to travel with their Sea Glide at tremendous speeds. Despite fixing so many famous glitches, Subnautica Below Zero has introduced multiple new glitches, one of which completely dwarfs the aforementioned Super Sea Glide glitch. If you craft both the booster tank and the propulsion cannon, grab basically any object with the propulsion cannon, and then press the sprint key to activate the booster tank, for some reason the game allows you to travel at some incredible speeds. This method of travel is faster than both the sea truck and the prawn suit, and is probably the fastest mode of transportation out of both Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero. This glitch is a whole lot of fun, and I would highly recommend you try it out for yourself. Additionally, one thing the developers didn't fix in Subnautica Below Zero is the glitch that allows you to clip through walls using only a base piece and a hatch. If you build a base piece in a certain position right next to a wall and then build a hatch like so, using the hatch will allow you to clip right through the wall. This works in both Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero and can be very useful in speedruns. However, Subnautica Below Zero has even more secrets to hide. Using commands, there's actually a way to make Subnautica Below Zero third person. If you warp to a certain location, move backwards, enter the ghost command, and then warp back to the certain location, once you exit the ghost command, you can play Subnautica Below Zero in third person. Although admittedly, it is very weird. But those aren't the only weird things about Subnautica Below Zero. It seems that the random glitch that occurs when you load into a game still happens in Subnautica Below Zero. When this person loaded into their game, while they were inside of their sea truck, it started driving itself around and completely bugging out. Eventually, when the person left the truck behind, it started driving away and eventually went completely through the ground. A similar thing happened to this person, only this time in the original Subnautica. They loaded into a game while they were inside of their Cyclops, and when they tried to pilot it, they were flung into the void. I attempted to recreate this but was unable to do so. But if you want a more reliable launch glitch, you might have to use commands. If you use the warp forward command to warp yourself partially inside of your life pod, it can send you flying thousands of meters away. This person was able to pull this off multiple times and launch themselves to some incredible distances. I tried this out for myself and I must say it's a whole lot of fun. This person used the Cyclops launch glitch that I discussed in a previous video to launch themselves through the walls of the lava zone. They then did a ton of exploring and even made it to the Sea Emperor's aquarium. While they were there, the walls loaded in and the Cyclops got stuck inside of them. The game started seriously glitching out, but eventually they were able to break free. They were also able to bring the Cyclops inside of the Sea Emperor's aquarium, which is something you're normally not able to do. If you want this glitch explained, see the video in the description. But this is definitely not the most weird or useful thing you can do with your Cyclops. For some reason, if you grab any type of outcrop using the prawn suit propulsion arm and smash it against the Cyclops, you can get double and sometimes even triple of what it normally drops. This works for every type of outcrop and is a super good way to get tons of resources. On top of that, if you poke your head through the bottom of a Cyclops, you can actually grab the ladder and use it to get inside of the Cyclops. This allows you to swim around your Cyclops as if you were in water. But not only that, using any of the multiple doors inside of the Cyclops, you can launch yourself and your Cyclops to some incredible distances. I made a whole video about this back in the day. If you want to check that out, the link is in the description. One person was even able to launch themselves on top of the Aurora. When the Aurora exploded, they were flung out of their Cyclops and into the air. I must say, the Cyclops may be the buggiest thing in all of Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero. And as if that wasn't obvious enough, this person was somehow able to dock both their Seamoth and their prawn suit inside of their Cyclops at the same time. I have no clue how they were able to do this, but when they got inside of the prawn suit, it broke within seconds. And when it was destroyed, the spawn nearby failed glitch occurred, causing the player to turn into their prawn suit since there was a hard surface in the way of where they were supposed to spawn. The player was then able to swim around the Cyclops as if they were outside of it. One person even got launched while they were simply trying to construct a chair. Do you have any weird or funny Subnautica or Subnautica Below Zero clips? Be sure to submit them through the Google form in the description down below. This person was crafting when they randomly fell out of their base for no reason. When they walked onto their Cyclops, they got stuck in some sort of time loop or something and were killed by it a little later on. Another person used the teleport command while driving a sea truck, which essentially stretched Robin's body hundreds of meters. When they exited piloting the sea truck, they were launched incredibly fast through the terrain so far out that they got teleported back, only to be launched out far enough to be teleported back and so on. This essentially destroyed their save because there was basically nothing they could do about it. This person was traveling in their prawn suit when a wreck spawned on top of them right as they landed in the Grapevine Forest. This caused them to be completely stuck. No matter what they did, they were unable to escape with the vehicle. And when they exited their vehicle, the spawn nearby glitch we discussed earlier occurred, turning them into their prawn suit. After they eventually escaped and traveled to a moon pool, since the game still thought they were a prawn suit, it brought them inside of the moon pool as if they were a prawn suit. But this person managed to do something that may be even weirder. Using a nuclear waste disposal, this person was somehow able to deconstruct a multi-purpose room while they were still inside of the room. This seriously glitched things out and resulted in their head popping through the top of their base. Did you know that you can actually pick up the pedestal that this purple tablet sits on using a propulsion cannon and take it basically anywhere you want? I took mine all the way to a base and brought it inside using a moon pool. However, it somehow got stuck, which started flooding the base and made it completely impossible to deconstruct the moon pool. It gave me the message, can't deconstruct. None should be deconstructed first. A similar thing happened randomly when I was testing out another glitch. The game gave me the message, can't deconstruct. Stalker should be deconstructed first. Although I tried, I was completely unable to recreate this. I put some floaters on a Seamoth, and the Seamoth started spinning incredibly fast. This is what it looked like when I got inside. This penguin got frozen, and when it was finally unfrozen and started swimming around, it still looked like it was frozen, making it look pretty silly. When this person spawned multiple Cyclopses inside of a Cyclops, the game completely destroyed itself. The person was then able to walk on water, even though there was nothing holding them up. Another person spawned in a ton of reefbacks while they were inside of a Cyclops. They were launched sky high and eventually landed deep in the void. Remember, if you have any crazy clips of your own, submit them to me using the form in the description. And if you guys enjoyed, please consider subscribing. If you want to support me further, check out my Discord server, Twitch channel, Twitter, my second channel, and consider becoming a patron over at Patreon. Thanks to my patrons, Andy, Ariana Johnson, Baby Yoda, King Nocho, Cybot, Sean, Skeptic, and Then Nothing. And I will see you guys in the next video.